What's happened, you bad motherfuckers? It's Monday, the 30th of August. It's almost over, but we're still slinging dick with three hands. The Joint is brought to you by Blue Chew. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis at a fraction of the cost. Listen, Blue Chew is fantastic. You can take it at any time, day or night. The process is very simple. Sign up at bluechew.com. Talk to one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. You're saying, Joey, listen, I don't suffer from erectile dysfunction, but you also want to bat a fucking 1,000, right? You want her to walk home looking like she got hit by a fucking car. Right or wrong, you want to sling dick with three hands, Blue Chew is here to help. And if you don't, and if you do have ED, Blue Chew is the best. It's shipped right to your door in a discreet package. Not even your mailman knows what's in there. So if you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, Blue Chew can help. And they've got a special deal for you. Try Blue Chew free with promo code Joey. Just pay $5 for shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code Joey, to receive your first month for free. Free, cocksuckers. And as always, I want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Listen to me. You can't live without Blue Chew. If you're a young man, an older gentleman, ED is lurking, but your fucking Blue Chew is here so you can hit it out of the park. You understand me? You want both her eyes to fucking be spinning in the head like a fucking, when you hit the casino, whatever the hell you call it. You know what I'm talking about. BlueChew.com, promo code Joey, and I'll take care of you when it comes to the bedroom. The Joint is also brought to you from the heart of motherfucking Jersey, DraftKings. No more fucking around. The NFL is back, Jack. If you like getting paid like a fucking playmate, DraftKings Sportsbook is for you. DraftKings Sportsbook is the official sports betting partner of the NFL, giving all new players a hell of an offer. You ready for this? For the first week, which is week fucking 10. I think September 10th is when it starts. We're 2 weeks away. For the first week, you can bet just $1 on any game and cash $200 in free bets. Joey, what'd you say? Here we go. You bet $1 on any game and you cash $200 in free bets instantly, no matter what. You heard me right. It's free money. DraftKings is giving all new players $200 in free bets when you place $1 on any week one game. Bet $1 and get $200. Put down the fucking hummus and take advantage of this limited time offer. Plus, make every game big with same game parlays. Plus, they got a tremendous casino. Plus, they got the baseball playoffs. Plus, the NBA is coming October 19th. College football. Listen to me. If you don't have DraftKings Sportsbook, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now, today. Right now, there's tons of action this weekend. Use promo code Joey to receive $200 in free bets when you place $1 bet on any week one game. That's promo code Joey to get $200 in free bets instantly for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. I got to talk to you about something. You got to be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indiana, Pennsylvania. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Now, if you got a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. If you're in Indiana, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. But if you got everything under control, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and let's win some Geeters. How am I going to win Geeters, Uncle Joey? Listen to me. You bet right. You bet smart. You can't fall into a trap on here because every time you place a bet, it's taking the money, is taken out of your account. It's easy. It's reliable. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and let's make some fucking cash. And now it's time for the Joint, cocksuckers. We wasted enough time telling you stories.
Check 1, 2. Welcome to Uncle Joey's Joint.
What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? Welcome to Uncle Joey's Joint. It's Monday, the 30th of August. We're almost out of this motherfucker. On to the fucking fall. You're gonna have to put your whites away. Excuse me there. Some fucking asshole dust was floating around the fucking air. And I got it in my goddamn nose here. I'm happy you guys made it through another week. I had a great week last week. I'm sorry to my Patreon followers. Last week I had to do the intros a cappella off the phone. I went to fucking Pittsburgh. I shot for 2 days. Then me and the girls went to Hershey Park. If you've never been, fucking tremendous. Just tremendous. And the fucking chocolate making was sold out. I was pissed because that's what I fucking went there for. I must have walked around 14 Weight Watcher points. It was great. No complaints at all. You know, I'm not really a fucking Disney guy. Every time you go to Disney, you walk, and everything you want is on the other fucking side of the thing. You know, it's $140. So the whole time you're there, you're like, am I getting fucked in the ass? I mean, what am I doing here at fucking Disney? It's a fucking ripoff. You feel like you're getting ripped off. Last time I went to Disney, it was me, my wife, my daughter, Eddie Bravo, his wife, his son. We did that package. I can't tell you how much it fucking cost. And you look at it and you go, you know what? I don't even want to know because it's for the kids anyway. It's not about us. But Disney is just a fucking nightmare. The time I went, right, and thank God they didn't let me in. Like sometimes people are doing you a fucking favor and you're too stupid to fucking know. The last time I went to Disney, we got a hotel room on the Disneyland fucking whatever. Me and Eddie had conjoining rooms. We talked shit all night. I fucking went to sleep petrified from the conspiracy theories, the whole thing. Walt Disney's still alive. You know the fucking deal. So the next morning we wake up, we go to breakfast, and we're about to walk into the park, but they have metal fucking detectors, right? So I walk to the fucking metal detector, and the lady goes, is there something in your pocket? I go, yeah, my wallet, my phone, you know. She goes, take them out and put them in a canister. So I put everything in a little container, like at the airport, and you run it through. And all of a sudden she goes, hold on, what is this? And it was a fucking Chiba Chew. And she goes, what is this? And I go, it's an edible. I have a situation, I get anxiety, and these edibles have controlled me. And she started going off on me. You're not allowed to bring this into the park. Walk this back to your room. I go, okay, no problems. So I go back to the hotel, and I take a bite off the Chiba Chew, which is 90 milligrams, and I throw the other half away. I go, I'll come back later. I got like 25 of them upstairs. What do I give a fuck? So I bit half, and I threw it away. When I walked back, do you know what that lady said to me? She goes, you didn't go back to your room. You just threw it away. No, I'm not going to let you in. I go, what do you mean you're not going to let me in? My daughter, everybody was on the other side, and you're not going to let me fucking in. I go, let me talk to your goddamn supervisor here because something ain't right here. What do you care? Weed is legal in California. You know the deal. I have anxiety, and I got to walk for fucking 18 hours, you know. So finally, they all circle me. The supervisor comes over. We start talking. The supervisor fucking goes, you know what? Let him in the goddamn park. Just let him in. What do you give a fuck? And I looked at it and I go, you don't get paid enough to give a fuck. You know, like, what's wrong with you? What do you give a fuck if I take it? It's not like I'm taking a fucking case of vodka and giving it out to little fucking kids on ice. It's my own little personal edible. Well, I got to tell you something. I'm lucky I only ate that half. Because when we went on It's a Small World After All, I almost abandoned fucking ship. You understand me? If I would have had a fucking parachute, I would have jumped off that fucking ride. I don't know if you've been on It's a Small World After. You sit down and it picks you up and you go through all these fucking deserts. They throw sand at you and shit. You know, all of a sudden you're in an ocean. You get hit with water. You're like, what the fuck is going on? But it's tremendous. I mean, listen, the one thing about Disney I liked is that it's clean. You could see that. Listen, I'm paying you $140, but this place is fucking clean. Now I don't know. There was a fist fight last year. COVID fucked it up. Who gives a fuck? I had a great time at Hershey Park. It was hotter than fuck this week. I mean, it was hot, Jack. It was hot the day I was shooting. It was hot. And I tell you, I love to shoot. You know, every time I shoot a TV show or a movie for 1 or 2 days, it makes me realize how much I miss that shit. I don't want to do 10 weeks on a fucking movie. I don't want to be on location for fucking 13 weeks in upstate New York at some fucking Motel 6 because they want to be secluded and you got to drive an hour to the nearest fucking hotel that's a 4-star. I don't want to deal with that. I just want to zip into the city, go to fucking wardrobe, throw on my little fucking fat man suit, go on the set, do my fucking 2 or 3 lines because I can't remember anything more than that. Like those big chunks of acting, those days are done. When I get the audition, I'm like, I can't remember this. I got a teleprompter app on my fucking computer, and I have to use the teleprompter app, and sometimes you speed it up. It don't go fast enough. Sometimes it goes fast enough. I try my best. I got a good meeting next week. This week coming up, I got a great meeting for a fucking movie. They're going to zoom in. So I'm very excited about that. What I wanted to talk to you about on a beautiful fucking Monday. First of all, the Joint wants to congratulate Michael Klein. He got engaged over the fucking weekend. You know, I'm very proud of him. It's just so weird how you look at relationships. And I can be strictly honest with you guys. I was not ready for a relationship in my 20s. I was a fucking loser. I've been a fucking loser since I was 16 years old for relationships. I mean, I started my relationship world by getting left back. I fell in love with a girl that would just give me fucking dry humps. How retarded am I? And I got left the fuck back. You know, and I'm proud enough to talk about it today. Like, I was ashamed of it for fucking years. I was ashamed of it when it happens because I was a lot smarter than that. But to get fucking left back over no pussy is, you got to be a fucking idiot, and that's what I did. So when I first started dating, like, girls and stuff, I just kept running into problems. I was jealous, I was fucking this, I was angry, so every time I dated a girl, I had to pull back on something. That's the only good thing, that when you do something, you learn, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, part of me wishes I never dated in my 20s, but the other part of me, I'm glad I did, because I learned a lot. I learned how to treat women. I learned how to act around women. But early on, I was a fucking jerk-off. I was a jerk-off in relationships till I was probably 32 or 33, and even then, I had fucking problems, you know? And that's why, before I met Terry, I was like, you know what? Listen, nothing wrong with slinging dick. Nothing wrong with eating somebody's asshole on the road that you met. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's natural. Procrastination is a part of life. God loves when you fuck. He loves it. You know, God loves it. More kids, children of God, all that shit. God loves when you procreate. I had nothing against that, but I knew that I was so much of a fucking loser, I didn't want to put a woman through this again. And, dog, I put women through dumb shit. Like, I didn't give them a heartache. I didn't cheat on them, nothing like that. I just didn't have no sense of coming at a certain time, you know, like not coming sexually. I mean, like, you know, coming home at a certain time. I mean, I didn't have a mother figure, you know, all through my life. That was like till I was 10, and then my mother died when I was 16. But I didn't really have to answer to anybody, is what I'm trying to say. So it was very tough for me. As a man, it was very tough for me. Like, when a woman or anybody asked me, what time are you going to be home? My blood pressure goes up 180 over 100. Don't ask me what time I'm going to be home. I don't fucking know. You know, I like to tell you 11, but what if I'm driving home and there's a naked woman that just escaped from a fucking Cocksuckers Anonymous rehab, you know. I'd love to tell you, what if I'm driving home and I got a sudden urge to drive diarrhea and I got to pull over to Manalapan fucking diner and shit my ass off? You know, what? I don't know, so don't ask. I could try to be home by a certain fucking time, but don't ask. All those things bothered me as a man, because I didn't have to deal with it growing up. You know, it was all fucking new to me, you know. So when I left Boulder, like after my divorce, I didn't know how to handle a fucking divorce. I didn't know how to handle a marriage. When I first got married, I couldn't handle shit. Do you understand me? I couldn't handle shit. And I'm really fucking sorry about this, that I couldn't handle anything when I was married. I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't know how to, you know, I still remember meeting my ex-wife. Like, I was celibate for fucking, well, it wasn't that I was celibate. I couldn't get a piece because I wasn't doing coke and my confidence was low, so I wouldn't talk to women. You know, I knew how to talk to women when I got coked up. That's easier with 3 drinks in you. But once you're fucking sober, you don't know how to fucking talk to women. So I didn't fucking talk to women. You know, I didn't get laid from 84, like mid-84, to like June of 85. I was like on a fucking 11-month sabbatical from sex or intimate fucking touching or nothing, you know. And then all of a sudden, I went on a fucking roll in 85. And I still remember dating my ex-wife and moving with her to San Francisco and being alone with her in a hotel room and thinking to myself, wow, I'm living with a woman. Like, there's no preparation, there's no course you could take, there's nothing. I met her August 5th, and by August 20th, we were living together in a fucking hotel room in San Francisco. And then by September 1st, we were fucking living in a full-time, you know, those hotels where you have a room and the bathroom's in the hallway and you share it with 20 fucking people. You got to walk there with your robe on and with your fucking shaving kit like a jerk off. I didn't have a fucking robe. I'd have to walk in the hallway with a towel on. They'd tell me to put a shirt on. It was a fucking nightmare. But the point I'm trying to make is that I didn't know what I was doing. I'm living with a fucking girl. This is great. She's going to clean. We're going to have sex whenever I want. And I was like an animal. Like, I would come home every afternoon. Let me give you a stabbing. We'd watch Mission Impossible at 4 o'clock. And after Mission Impossible, I'd give her a fucking stabbing. If I'm paying rent, I got to get my fucking money's worth. Like, that's how you think when you're a fucking kid and you're a young man. You don't fucking know. I wish I fucking knew. I had no idea. And I did the best I could. You know, I treated her like a friend. I didn't fucking know. You want to smoke a joint? You know, I would take her out to dinner. I mean, I didn't fucking know. But then the evolution continues, you know, and now you're a couple, and then we moved back to fucking Boulder together, and then we started hanging out, and I got locked up. You know, it wasn't like a traditional meet somebody in high school, go to the prom with them, go to college, you still date while you're in college, and then once you get your degree and I get my degree, we do it the right way, and we get married. I didn't do none of that shit. That wasn't in my fucking path. I was a quickie type of dude. I met you, I either like you or I don't like you. You know what I'm saying? If I like you, I'll call again. If I don't like you, I'm not going to waste your fucking time. I'm not in business to fucking use people. So when I got married, I didn't get married for all the right fucking reasons. I got married because I knocked somebody up. Did I love her? Who knows? You know, we'll see later on. You can learn to love somebody. That's what I thought. No, you can't. Either you love them or you don't fucking love them. Yeah, people grow on you, you know what I'm saying? But you have to have something there to sit around that person every fucking day. If not, you want to stab yourself in the eye every time they talk. So I know I do. If I didn't like somebody, I couldn't have them around. I'm not that. Listen, I learned a lesson early on when I was 16. Don't use people. If they're not your, don't. Well, they got a fast boat. You don't want to be their friend. Well, they have good weed. Who gives a fuck? Everybody's got good weed. You can buy good fucking weed. You don't need to fucking be somebody's friend because they have fucking weed, you know. But when I got married, I was totally confused of what a marriage was. It just did not work for me. Guys, I mean, a lot of you saw me last October and November and December I was fucking shit. I was burnt goods. I was burnt the fuck out. Nothing bothers me more than my time when I was married. From fucking September of 89 to October 15th of 1991, we're coming on the anniversary now, her fucking leaving. I was just not happy. I mean, it was brutal for me. I didn't know what, and looking back at it, it was a lot of things. It was me getting out of prison, and all of a sudden I get out of prison, and the next thing you know, I'm getting fucking married 6 months later, and I'm having a fucking kid. I was over fucking whelmed. And something happened to me on the way to the fucking prom. When I got married on a Saturday afternoon, September 9th, or no, who the fuck knows? Yeah, 9/9 of 89, whatever the fuck. So it was September 9th of 89. Check your fucking calendar, Google that date. There was like 2 great college football games that day. Like Colorado was playing Nebraska. So I was pissed off already. Like I didn't fucking know. I never took that into account that there was a great college fucking football game on the day I was going to get fucking married, So I didn't take none of that shit into account. I didn't even think about it. But when I got married, man, the wedding was great. The reception was great. And then we had to get a ride to Denver Stapleton Airport. That was the airport then. We were headed to San Francisco for a honeymoon. And I remember we got on a plane. It was like a 9:40 flight. Get you to San Francisco like 11 o'clock. It was a 9:40 flight. I'll never forget getting on that plane with like just coming back from a wedding. You're high on the wedding. My friends were there. Mike Runny was there. One of my best friends was my best man. It couldn't have been any better, I didn't do any coke until the end of the wedding, at the end, because I knew I didn't have to pee till Wednesday. So I didn't do any coke till, I wasn't coming back till like Wednesday. So the pee days for the halfway house, for the community corrections, was Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I knew I had a green light. I could get high because I was going to come back Wednesday, but at nighttime, and they weren't able to piss me on Thursday. They were going to piss me on Friday. So I already had it figured out in my head. So towards the end, like about 8:30 was when I did a couple bumps, just so nobody would see me coked up, just to, put a little fucking gin in that Indian. And I fucking went to the airport. We got on the plane. When we get to the plane, there's maybe, I like to say 16 of us on the plane, and we're fucking spread out. And I'll never forget that my wife at the time said to me, I got a surprise for you. And she had a skirt on. She split her legs open, and she had a garter belt. And I had sex with her right on the plane like an animal that I was. She was like 4 months pregnant. I didn't give a fuck. I was coked up. I had a couple whiskeys in me, a couple Dewas on the rocks. I gave her a stab and right in the fucking plane. And then she sat by the window, looking out the window, and I sat in the aisle seat. And I'll never fucking forget that I was like, I think I made a mistake. When everything wore off, the party wore off, the sex wore off, and I had time to think, I'm like, I think I made a fucking mistake. This poor girl thinks that her life is going to be solved, and this poor girl has no idea that I have no fucking idea. I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know what's going on here. She thinks like we're going to fucking have a house with a white picket fence and life is going to be great. I can't cover that spread. I'm a loser. I can't do this shit. And I remember like getting off that plane with us going, this is not going to fucking last. I didn't say nothing to her. But I was getting in the way of myself. Looking back now, I remember going to the hotel, going to Hertz, renting a fucking Nissan 240Z, the fucking two-seater in the front, and there's no reason to have a fucking back unless you're a midget with no legs. You're not going to be able to sit back there. It's just somebody with no legs that can sit back there. There's no room if your seat is all the way back. So I rented a 240, went back to the hotel room. As soon as we got back to the hotel room, she's like, I'm tired. Sure, she's tired. She's 4 months fucking pregnant. What the fuck did I expect? But Joey Diaz back then couldn't comprehend that. Like, I'm like, what do you mean you're fucking tired? Who gives a fuck if you're pregnant? Let's keep this party alive. Let's have some sex. Let's go get some beers. She was like, fucking, I'm not going for it. So I was like, I'm going to go downstairs and smoke some pot and maybe go for a ride. She's like, fine. I fucking ran over to this bar. I was just spitting in the fucking wind. But this is the luck I had back then. That's why I'm telling you, junkies have all the fucking luck. I just took I lived in San Francisco in 85. It was now 89. And I had a Cuban friend called Bambusi. Tough motherfucker. Me and him used to sling drugs and traveler's checks and fucking play dice in the Tenderloin. We ran a fucking game. He was tremendous. Me and him used to fucking cash traveler's checks, use stolen credit cards. Him and I were like a fucking team. Him and I and this guy named Lazaro. Lazaro was a fucking trip. He was a little older than us. If we were in our 20s, me and Bambusi, Lazaro was like 45, but he was a fucking trip. So I just took a chance. I remember the bar where Bambusi hung out at. And I fucking had to find my way around San Francisco. I didn't know any street names, Mason, all this shit. And I remember going to that bar, going inside, and there's fucking Bambusi. It's got to be midnight, and I haven't seen him in 4 years. I gave him a big fucking hug. He was happy to see me. We had a drink, and Ryan goes, who's got an 8-ball? And he goes, I got one. Let's go. Give it to me. I sat with him till closing time, whatever that fucking was. He had some girl he was leaving with. I had nobody. I basically went in my 240ZX. I went to the hotel parking lot, and I just sat there all night, snorting the coke, figuring how am I going to get out of this fucking marriage. This is bullshit. I can't be fucking married. I did the whole fucking 8-ball by myself. I drank like a bottle of wine. There was some fucking individual beers, a few wine coolers. About 7 o'clock, I fucking finished drinking. I must have jerked off in the car in a bag or whatever. When you're fucking coked up and you're a junkie, you do the most disgusting fucking things. I must have jerked off in my hand like cappuccino style. You come right in the palm and then you fucking wipe it on the furniture. I must have done one of those. I'm not lying to you guys. I actually jerked off in the car. That's when you do coke by yourself. And I went upstairs, and I'll never forget that I fucking went upstairs, tippy-toed in, picked up the sheet, got in the bed, put the sheet on, and within 8 minutes, she turned around, looked at me, and she goes, good morning. And I'm like, good morning to you. And I'm like trying to like hide my face because I'm fucking blasted and I reek of alcohol. She's like, how was your night? I go, good. I went out and I had a few drinks and I just got home. I just got a nap for an hour and I'll be ready for you. She's like, that's fine. I wanted to take a walk around San Francisco anyway. I'm like, go ahead, knock yourself out. And I fucking went to sleep and I felt no remorse. I didn't feel bad. I was like, this is not going to fucking work. But eventually I'll fall in love with her. I didn't know I cared for her. I don't want you people to think I'm a fucking savage with a bone in my nose. I cared for her. I loved her in a way, but marriage, I wasn't fucking ready to be married to anybody. I played the game. We went to the fucking Giant game. We did this. We went to fucking Fisherman's Wharf. We went to Guadalajara Square and got some chocolate. You know the fucking deal. But when we got back to Boulder, it was like, this is not going to fucking work. She was more of a roommate than a fucking wife, I felt, in a lot of ways. So I played the fucking game, We, I think right after I got fucking married, I went into such a fucking funk that I started snorting with 3 hands again. And by October, I gave him a hot at the fucking, at the community corrections, and they actually threw me in the halfway house for a 90-day violation. So here's my wife, fucking 7 months pregnant, and I'm in a fucking halfway house. This was a formula for failure. We already were fucking failing, It was rough. It was a rough 3 months. I had to apologize to her family. But this marriage was just, it was just sad. And then I was thinking, oh, well, maybe I'll have the kid and that'll change me. Once I see the kid physically, I'll stop snorting coke and I'll get my life together. Well, let me tell you how fucking much that helped. She had the baby. I got out of the halfway house February 2nd. She had the baby February 3rd at like 10 in the morning.
Wow.
And I was doing cocaine at 7 o'clock February 3rd at my house with my brother-in-law, her brother. So, and then I snorted Sunday, and, you know, that genuine cocaine talk. This is the last line I'll do. Fatherhood is going to change me. You know, God put a kid in my life so I could stop snorting coke and be a better person. You know how much that worked? Nothing. Seeing that kid did nothing to me. Seeing that kid just put more pressure on me, made me more fucking scared than what I was, and I fucking went overboard. But I once I was back in the halfway house, I had to prove to everybody, and I made it all the way to level 4. They had me driving. I was like an example fucking inmate, invict, and I fucking got out of it. But here's how fucking weird life is. So I get out on a Friday, February 2nd. We went to Lucille's in Boulder. I got the fucking bayonets. I got the red snapper with 3 fucking sunny side up eggs. And it was a beautiful day. It was like cloudy out. The sun was trying to push through. I remember I went back to our apartment. We lived behind Abo's Pizza and Ledizia on 30th Street. I had been living in such a stressful situation. I didn't know. You never fucking know till you get out of a stressful situation that I was in a stressful situation. So when I got to the house that day, we got home about 2, maybe 3 o'clock. We laid down. I fucking passed out. I mean, I passed out all the way to Saturday morning at like 6 a.m. when she woke me up to tell me her water fucking broke. She's like, my water broke. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I knew nothing about waters. I knew nothing about bags. I knew nothing about babies. I knew nothing about nothing. She's like, my fucking water broke. I'm like, what do you want me to do? I'm not a doctor. She's like, we got to get to the fucking hospital. I'm like, hospital? Are you fucking crazy? So I'll never forget, I go outside to the fucking get the car. I fucking look out the window, and this could only happen in Colorado. There's 1.5 feet of snow out. From fucking it partially sunny was coming out on fucking Friday, till there's a fucking 1.5 feet of snow on the goddamn floor. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So now I gotta go out there. She's yelling. She's like, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I go outside. I fucking shovel. I gotta pull the car out. I gotta shovel under the fucking car. I gotta shovel. The car's on the whole time. I got the heat. I got the fucking sun, the blinkers going. I pull the fucking car out. I shovel the fucking spot. You know, I leave a little trail there. I pull the car out a little bit more. I fucking shovel out the fucking spot. And you're not gonna believe what happens. While I'm getting back in my car, I see a guy turn onto the block, and he's coming towards me. Now, I knew the guy. He lived on top of me. I didn't talk to him. We didn't drink. We didn't hang out together. He wasn't my friend. I just knew he lived upstairs. I see him coming towards me. I go, that's interesting. All of a sudden, there were, you had cones in front of your house. You cleaned out the driveway. Now it's your parking spot. You put the 2 cones there. So I was going to get in the car to straighten out the car and then put the 2 cones there, open the door, tell my wife the car was ready. I put a little pat in the snow so she could walk. It was all planned out. You know me, I don't fuck around. What do you think scumbag does coming at me? He comes at me and he turns into my parking spot and just pulls in. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I get out of the car. I knock on his car. He gets out of the car. I go, hey, dog, I don't mean to be a fucking pain in the ass or rude, but I was just out here 30 minutes shoveling when my wife is inside yelling. You could hear her fucking yelling. Her water broke. I had to take her to the fucking hospital. And I just fucking cleaned this spot out, and you're just going to fucking stroll in here and park in the thing? I swear to God, guys, I just got out of the halfway house. I'm trying to get my life together. This motherfucker looks me straight in the face, turns around, looks at my car, and spits at my fucking car. And he goes, too bad. I'm like, this did not just fucking happen. My life is a fucking game show. This did not just fucking happen that this guy spit in my fucking car. I just got out of the halfway house. My wife is pregnant. She's inside fucking yelling. You're not going to believe this fucking story. I'm like, are you fucking serious? He's like, it's too fucking bad. I'm taking the spot. Shovel another one. You're not going to leave anyway. You're going to be in the hospital. You know what? That's true. That's one frame of thought. But he didn't say it that way. He came out of the car like a fucking jerk off, and I wasn't taking it. So I fucking choked him. We started swinging each other right there. Bop, bop. We started fucking swinging at each other. He hit me with 2 or 3 good fucking shots to the head. I was reaching for fucking air, and next thing you know, this motherfucker went to grab me, and he slipped in the snow. Sorry, Charlie. I got right on top of him, and I started banging his fucking head off the fucking snow, right? I'm banging his head off the fucking snow. I'm punching him. I'm trying to bite him in the fucking hand because he's trying to fucking, I'm trying to nibble on his fucking glove and shit. And the next thing you know, he's pushing my face. I'm punching him. And you're not going to believe this. 2 cop cars with their fucking lights on are coming at me. And I'm like, this ain't fucking happening. This is not fucking happening. I'm going to go right back to fucking jail. I'm on top of the guy. I'm fucking pounding him. He's pushing me. Here's where it gets better. The cops run out of the car, and I see it's one of the cops I know. I'm like, whew, thank God. Maybe he'll cut me a break. I'm like, what's going on, man? I'm sorry. This fucking guy. They go, no, we're not here for a fight. We're here for a complaint of domestic violence. I go, domestic violence? Who's domestic violencing anybody? It's my fucking neighbor. He goes, we're not even here for that. Somebody complained that they heard a woman yelling. I go, that's my wife. She's about to have a kid. Her water just broke, and I'm trying to explain the story to them. And they're like, all right. Well, we got to take care of this. What happened here? And I'm like, this motherfucker, I just shoveled, and this motherfucker pulls into my spot, and the cop's like, well, listen, there's no law. I'm like, it's not that. The way the motherfucker came out of the car, he came out with a bad attitude. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Fuck him. We're going back and forth. The cop's like, enough already. Enough. He goes, listen, get your wife in the car. We're going to fucking, one car's going to get behind you, one car's going to get in front of you, and we're going to fucking escort you to the hospital. You 2 fucking idiots. Shake, I thought they went into a circle like a powwow. I thought they were going to throw me under the jail. I just been out fucking 12 hours. I'm out 12 fucking hours, and I'm going back to fucking jail. This ain't happening. This is not fucking happening. The next thing you know, they come out of the huddle, and they're like, listen, we're just going to write this off as a bad day. All right? I'm like, thank God. They're like, shake hands. I'm like, listen, at this point, I'll do anything just to get her to the hospital. She's in the fucking doorway. So I'm like, fuck this shit. I go to put my hand down, and this motherfucker goes, I ain't shaking his hand. The officer, my friend, walks up to him, and he goes, listen, we could just get in the car and leave. You weren't doing too good when we got here. This gorilla was about to fucking level you. So what do you want to do? The guy shook my hand fucking reluctantly. I grabbed my wife, and the fucking cops escorted us to the fucking airport, like not the airport, the hospital, like nothing fucking happened. That's fucking 6 months of our married life. I just broke down to you. The first 6 months were fucking horrible. Then the kid came along. I loved that child with all my heart. But listen, man, a kid wasn't going to change the animal I was at the time. That just wasn't going to happen. And I'll tell you, I had a little bit of fucking depression. You couldn't tell. Like, I know looking back now that I had a little bit of depression at that time. Just a little tad, you know. But at the same fucking time when I had the baby, as sad as this is going to sound, my daughter Jacqueline, that even put me farther out there. That made me feel even worse than what I did. My self-esteem was low. I had a hard time being a man. How was I going to be a fucking father? How was I even going to be a fucking father? You know, and I pushed through it, and I had another struggle going on. I was being a pussy. I should have been on stage the day after I got off fucking out of prison in February of '89. I should have fucking been on stage the next night. It was fucking February of 90, and I still wasn't on fucking stage. Who's the biggest pussy you know? Uncle Joey. Procrastinator? Uncle fucking Joey. I still wouldn't go on fucking stage. So I was in an unhappy marriage. I was not a good fucking father, even though I was a good father. I don't want you guys to get me wrong. I was changing diapers. I just felt not up to par. Like, I saw what other dads looked like, and I saw how they were acting, and I just failed. I was just a failure at it, you know. And to top it off, I wasn't living the life I wanted to, which is heavy. Heavy. You know, one of the reasons Mike is here was his fucking hatred for his office job. He did not like it. He did not like it. When you're a musician and you're a free spirit, a day job is like a fucking suicide sentence. I know. How? Because I fucking been there. I did 30 jobs I didn't want to do. I did them to pay the fucking rent or to snort coke or whatever fucking excuse I have. But I did all those fucking jobs just to get by. They weren't because I was in love with something. You don't know what life is till you love your fucking job. When you love your job and you're supposed to be there at 8 and you're getting there at 7:15, that's love. When you don't love your job, it's a death sentence and you're not living the life you live. And even if you go, you know what, I'm no fucking Jimmy Page. I'm never going to be in Led Zeppelin. You know what, that's okay. That's okay. There's a restaurant that loves when you come down with an acoustic guitar and you do a couple Beatles songs from 8 to 9. Whatever, I don't know. Help, I need somebody, help, not just anybody, help, you know what I'm saying? One thing that I realized as a comic was that you didn't really have to go to L.A. I don't ever want you to feel like you had to go to L.A. You could be a comic, a musician, an artist, right in your little fucking pocket of the world. I could have stayed in Denver and been just as happy as I would have gone to L.A. or Seattle or whatever. I wouldn't have been the same comic. I probably wouldn't have had the same opportunities, but that would have still made me a comic. So when I was just unfucking happy. I just was not there as a married guy. It just didn't work out for me. Finally, in July, she did me the biggest favor of my life. She overheard me on the phone. She knew I was having a tough time. At the time, I had 2 fucking jobs. I was a roofing estimator. I basically went home, washed my pussy, and fucking went to the comedy club, to Wits End, to be a fucking doorman. And then I got promoted to a sound guy. Then I was a bar back. Then I was doing all 3 jobs by myself. And then I finally had the balls to get on stage. And then, you know, I mean, September of 91, I was so fucking unhappy. My ex-wife came to me. And she was like, listen, you got on stage. Because now I was even unhappier. I should have been fucking ecstatic that I got on stage, but there was a problem. I still had a fucking day job. And I tell you what, that was not a day job I hated. I never hated roofing estimating. It was easy. I enjoyed it. But it wasn't what I wanted to do till I was 65 and get a gold watch. That's not what I wanted to do. That was not, oh, he was a great roofer. Yeah, here's a gold watch. Thank you for your 38 years of service, you fucking malook. Thank you for making us $8 million with your knowledge, you fucking malook. You know, so I was like, that's not what I want to do. I want to fucking do stand-up fucking comedy. And man, I look at my marriage now, the first time, and it just wasn't. It was just like Pink Floyd says in Dogs. We were just roommates. We were just roommates. You know, I loved stand-up so fucking much at that time that I was really fucking upset. I loved my daughter. I loved stand-up. I did not like being married. I did not like answering to somebody. I just did not like my fucking life. But I also knew that my life wasn't miraculously going to change. It just doesn't miraculously change. It's like my life now, this past year. I've had to put in fucking work and journaling and writing and a therapist. I've had to put in fucking work. At that time, I didn't really fucking know what I was doing. I just knew I was not fucking happy. She even came to me one day, like in September, and she's like, listen, I think you should take a fucking trip. I think you need something. In that short period of time, I started stand-up. I signed up at Naropa Institute. I was treading on the idea of becoming a Buddhist. You know, I mean, I was fucked up, guys. Fucked up over this marriage. It was not fucking happiness for me. But I did not know how to get out of this. Her parents were really good to me. Her family was my family. And I was stuck. I was stuck and didn't even know it. I was like those people on the island, naked and afraid. You ever see those people that fucking, it's bad enough being afraid, now you're naked. That's a real fucking barn burner. Now people got to see my fucking COVID toe. I don't need that aggravation in my life. So when I walked in that fucking October 15th, and she came to me and she's like, hey, I'm not happy. This is not working. I had a euphoric fucking surge go through my body. I was like, really? You cut me out of this prison sentence? Because it was a fucking prison sentence as far as I'm concerned. And I'll tell you what, when she packed up her fucking bags and walked out of that door, I got to be honest with you guys, I was the happiest fucking man to walk the fucking earth. I loved her to a degree, and I cared for her. I wasn't crazy about her. I could live with that. I didn't like being with somebody that I wasn't totally heads over heels over. I didn't feel adequate as a father, even though I stuck it out with her for 4 years, 6, 7, 8 years after that, trying to be a father. I just knew one thing when that marriage ended, that I was not doing this again. I was not doing this to myself. I was not going to do this to another woman. This was never happening again. You want to fuck? You want to snort some coke? You want me to eat your pussy? I'm in. But I'm not getting in no monogamous situations or anything. That was how I felt in 1995. That was exactly how I felt when I summarized my marriage and what had happened since 1985 when I met my ex-wife. I had summarized all that, and I came to the conclusion that I'm not good for anybody. I'm a fucking loser. I'm happy I have comedy. I don't have to fucking worry about insurance or phone bills or mortgage. I'm going to get in this car. I'm going to fucking go on the road, and that's what I'm going to fucking do. Never again will I weigh down a woman with my bullshit, my, stupidity. I'm not going to do this. And it's fucked up when you think that way, because when you're not looking for somebody is when you find somebody. It's like when Vito left The Sopranos and he fucking went up to Maine and he found that fucking half a fag, the cook who committed suicide. Rest in peace. Remember they got into an argument and he says to him, I wasn't even looking for you. You know, it's the same thing when you're not looking for somebody. That's when you find somebody. You know, when I met my fucking wife, sorry about that. I was just thinking about it. I have to fucking paint the picture for you cocksuckers. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm like Bob Ross before the operation. So, when I met Terry had everything I loved in a woman. Not to mention she was from the South. I loved that. I heard all these things about Southern women, and I still remember being with her the first 90 days. And like one day I got to a house, I was broke, and she made me a fucking great lunch. For fucking a Cuban, beans, she fucking did it up, red beans. I was so fucking excited, but there was still that doubt I had. I had a doubt that I'm not going to make her happy. I'm going to let her down, you know, in every perspective, you know, emotionally, sexually. I'm a fucking fire. I'm a dud. You know, I know this going in that I'm a fucking dud. How am I going to fucking... For the first 6 months I dated Terry, I did like her. I did have feelings for her. I was starting to love her, and I didn't want to. I was like, I'm not going to hurt this girl. I'm going to stick around here for a couple of weeks until she tells me I'm a bum like everybody else. And then, you know, I'll move on. I'll find a new girl. When I look at Terry this week, when we went to Hershey and we were walking in the park, and there was one point, like, me and her are connected, like, synchronized in a way, because she was going for a walk and I had a phone call to make. And I'm sitting there making this call, and I look up and it's fucking Nathan's hot dogs, right? And I go, holy shit, maybe they got a lemonade. So I saw all these people walking around with a lemonade. And I walk up and there's no fucking lemonade, but I saw chili dogs. I'm like, fuck, I go for a chili dog, but I gotta watch my Weight Watcher points. Those chili dogs are a motherfucker. So I go, awesome. My wife texts me. She goes, we're under the umbrella because it was really hot. There was a big umbrella where you could sit there and drink something. So I walk over and I go, we got to get a lemonade. And my wife goes, fuck that. I'm fucking starving. I go, holy shit. How about a chili dog from Nathan's? And on the walk over, I was like, holy fuck, me and my wife are synchronized. Like, we ate breakfast together. You know, she had like a snack. She's on noon, whatever, that diet. She's lost like 8 pounds. She loves it. And we were both fucking hungry. And we both like fucking looked at each other at the same time. And after we had that chili dog, we were walking in the park and I'm like, I can't believe I've been with this woman for 21 fucking years. There was a time when I couldn't be with a woman for 21 minutes. Like nobody wanted to be next to me. I have worked it out with that. And I still remember being with her at the 3-year mark and her asking me, what are we doing? And me going, I don't know. And her going like, you got to make a move pretty soon. And it was like me telling my mother I got to live back. I didn't want to tell Terry I didn't want to get married because I knew she would tell me, then you got to go. I put that fucking marriage off for 9 years. 9 years. I wanted to be